List of battalions of the Buffs Royal East Kent Regiment. This is a list of battalions of the Buffs Royal East Kent Regiment, which existed as an infantry regiment of the British Army from 1881 to 1961. Original composition. When the 3rd the East Kent Regiment of Foot became the Buffs East Kent Regiment in 1881 under the Cardwell-Childers reforms of the British Armed Forces, 4 pre-existent militia and volunteer battalions of Kent were integrated into the structure of the regiment. Volunteer battalions had been created in reaction to a perceived threat of invasion by France in the late 1850s. Organized as Rifle Volunteer Corps, they were independent of the British Army and composed primarily of the middle class. The only change to the regiment's structure during the period of 1881–1000. Reorganization. The Territorial Force, later Territorial Army, was formed in 1908, which the volunteer battalions joined, while the militia battalions transferred to the Special Reserve. All volunteer battalions were renumbered to create a single sequential order. First World War. The Buffs fielded 15 battalions and lost over 6,000 officers and other ranks during the course of the war. The regiment's territorial components formed duplicate 2nd and 3rd line battalions. As an example, the 3-line battalions of the 4th Buffs were numbered as the 1/4th, 2/4th. Many battalions of the regiment were formed as part of Secretary of State for War Lord Kitchener's appeal for an initial 100,000 men volunteers in 1914. They were referred to as the New Army or Kitchener's Army. Interwar. By 1920, all of the regiment's war-raised battalions had disbanded. The Special Reserve reverted to its militia designation in 1921, then to the Supplementary Reserve in 1924. However, its battalions were effectively placed in suspended animation. As World War II approached, the Territorial Army was reorganized in the mid-1930s. Many of its infantry battalions were converted to other roles, especially anti-aircraft. Second World War. The Buffs' expansion during the Second World War was modest compared to 1914–1918. National defense companies were combined to create a new Home Defense Battalion, and in addition to this, a number of battalions and batteries of the Home Guard were affiliated to the regiment. Post-World War II, Min-2. In the immediate post-war period, the Army was significantly reduced. Nearly all infantry regiments had their 1st and 2nd battalions amalgamated and the Supplementary Reserve disbanded. Amalgamation. In 1956, the 5th Battalion was reformed, leading to the 4th/5th Battalion being redesignated as the 4th Battalion. The 1957 Defense White Paper stated that the Buffs was due to amalgamated with the Queen's Own Royal West Kent Regiment to form the Queen's Own Buffs, the Royal Kent Regiment, on the 1 March 1961.